Halloween!
Henry scoffed.
I don't get why people like this day so much, or how they find any of these things scary. These decorations just look more cute than anything.
Just then he noticed a decoration on the platform beside him. There was a garden gnome holding a shovel with a sinister smirk on its face, with a wrapped-up body beside it.
Well, that's a bit more intimidating,
He thought.
Oh, what am I saying? It's just a stupid decoration. What do I look like being scared of a boo? Oh my god!
Scared you, Henry? No worries, it's only me.
No, because I knew you were trying to scare me.
Right. Henry shamefully puffed away. A sudden hiss of steam suddenly aroused James from his slumber. He opened his eyes and looked around. The fog had become thicker, so thick that he could hardly see anything. Even the shapes of the buildings and trucks were lost in the gloom. Suddenly, another hiss echoed in the yards, only this time it was accompanied by the sounds of groaning metal.
Hello? Is someone there?
James called out. No one replied. Only the sound of more hissing, and this time, puffing. Only the puffing sounded different each time. It sounded like 3 different engines, but each puff sounded like it was coming from everywhere at once. James felt a wave of nerves roll along his boiler. He felt surrounded all around. And what was worse, he didn't know who was surrounding him. Then he felt the ground shudder. Something big was coming. It had to be another engine. But in the fogs, James couldn't be sure. The chuffing and rumbling and screeching came closer and closer. Then out of the corner of his eye, James saw a shape move in the fog past him. In the dim yard lights, it just looked like a dark shadow. The chuffing was louder than ever, and metal's screeching sound, the sound of rusty wheels turning, sounded almost alive, like cries and moans. The shape moved past him, and then suddenly vanished. James gulped and closed his eyes tightly.
It was just a dream. It was just a dream. Just a dream.
He comforted himself. Soon sleep closed in again, and James drifted off to a dreamless sleep. A small cemetery had been placed beside the line. The other engine didn't care about it too much, and wouldn't pay it too much mind. But Peter Sam did. Every time he passed it, it would sadden him. "Those poor souls," he'd say.
I hope they're at peace now. As I neared the old iron bridge, I heard the sound of another engine. Who could? I began, before catching a sight of an engine puffing towards the bridge. I blinked to be sure I wasn't seeing things. It looked like Sculloy. What on earth is he doing out here? I wondered. Try as I might, I couldn't catch up, and lost the mysterious figure in the mist.
The conversation was interrupted by a familiar horn. Derek emerged from the mist with a long line of trucks groaning behind him. "Hello," greeted Harry. "What can we do for you?"
Good evening, chaps,
smiled Derek.
Special delivery for you. Been clearing out an old mine, you see. Plenty of rusted equipment, well past its prime. Sure to keep you busy.
"And that?" asked Bert. He motioned to the flatbed behind Derek. On it stood a small, rusty steam engine. Well, smirked Harry. "This is my kind of surprise."
They found it tangled in the weeds. Must have been left behind when the mine closed. Poor thing,
sighed Derek.
No engine wants to be forgotten.
"Oh, don't you fret. We'll take very good care of it, won't we? I'll show you to the fuel pump. Bert, move that old rust bucket into the shed." Bert didn't like being bossed around, but complied. As Harry and Derek rolled away, he grumpily dragged the heavy flatbed into the glow of the smelter's shed. "Stupid Harry," he growled. "He could have just brought his rubbish here." As he rolled along, the old engine creaked and groaned. It almost sounded like laughter. Bert pulled it into place, then rolled alongside it. "Who's got the last laugh now?" he sneered. "Useless old kettle. Is that what you think of me?" Bert ground to a halt. For the first time, he saw the front of the old engine. Its face was smudged and dirty, and its eyes were weary.
I'm far from useless,
wheezed the engine.
Bah!
Snorted Bert.
Another steamer in denial. You'll bust it. Diesels are the way forward. There's no need for you now. And what happens when you become outdated?
Bert scoffed.
Never going to happen. I used to be just like you,
Sighed the engine.
I came to the little railway thinking I was the best engine on the line. My cockiness only landed me in that mine. Never learned, did I? Got myself into an accident, you see. I was so sure that they'd mint me. Look at me now. I thought I was invincible. But along came better, more modern engines. I got a taste of my own medicine.
She stared coldly at Bert.
You are modern, but for how long? What will happen to you when a more efficient engine is built? That'll never happen,
Bert spluttered.
Deny it all you want,
replied the engine.
but I stand before you as proof of it. Time will go on, and you will be replaced.
Bert was silent. The words sent chills through his frames.
Perhaps we should show more kindness towards engines at their end. We've done our fair share of work. We just want to go in peace without your mockery of sneering. Now go! I'd like to revel in some of that peace I'm deserving of.
Bert said nothing. He was deeply affected by the engine's word, but didn't want to show it. He continued to sneer as he rolled out of the smelter's shed. Airy was waiting for him. Derek had gone, and the fog was beginning to lift.
Where have you been?
Airy growled.
And who were you talking to in there? Stupid old steamer!
Barked Bert.
Trying to tell me we'll be out of date one day.
Airy stared blankly.
Well, how did you talk with it?
Bert looked back. As the doors of the smelter shed began to close, he saw no face on the engine, only a rusted smokebox door. Bert was in disbelief. The shed door shut with an unsettling thud.
Oh, that exhaust has got to you!
Airy cackled.
Oh, shut up!
Snapped Bert. He rolled off to their shed without another word. Duncan enjoyed Halloween, though he'd never admit it. He secretly liked seeing the decorations and the fun costumes the passengers would come up with. He even got to pull the special pumpkin train, dropping pumpkins off at each station so they could be turned into jack-o'-lanterns and put around the platform. It was the only job he'd never complain about doing. Peter Sam returned from his evening train. To his surprise, the sheds were covered in decorations. Pumpkins, candy buckets, and gnomes laid everywhere.
What's all this?
He asked in amazement.
The workmen and I helped decorate the sheds for Halloween,
Rusty explained.
They did a great job with everything. Really looks nice in my opinion. I definitely agree,
Peter Sam grinned.
You should be proud of yourselves.
Just then he noticed two coffins laying beside the line.
Oh dear,
he said.
Who died?
That's in control, I'm afraid.
Sir Ansel said, trying his best to seem upset.
He just dropped dead after you left.
What?
Cried Peter Sam. The other engines laughed loudly.
This isn't a laughing matter, you guys,
Wheezed Peter Sam.
This is serious. As I puffed slowly along, I peered through the mist, keeping a watchful eye for Skarloey. I had just reached the bridge when a shrieking whistle echoed around the hills. I was surprised, and so was my driver. We stopped at once. What was that? He shivered. That wasn't Skarloey's whistle, I said, growing more nervous by the minute. I peered across the bridge, where the mist danced frantically, and there it was. It looked strikingly similar to Skarloey. Slowly and menacingly it started across the bridge towards me. Driver tried to move us back, but I couldn't. I was frozen in fear. The engine's puffs echoed thunderously around the gorge. As it drew near, there was a bump. I watched in horror as the engine tipped and plunged off the side of the bridge. Its whistling screaming out until... In my shock, I looked down at the rails. There was a crack in the spot where the engine came off. We must get help! I cried, shaken from my stupor.
It was during one night when I had just arrived with a delivery of petrol for the generators. We were just shunting them into the siding when suddenly there was a scream from one of the sheds. The front doors flew open, and out came the young engineer, badly burned. Before anyone could ask him what had happened, something big popped out of the sheds, in a cloud of steam. It was a monstrous-looking scrap engine. It had no face, just rusty smokebox door. Its boiler and cab were from an A1, mounted crudely on top of a 9F chassis, pulling a rusty old tender behind it. Steam hissed and smoke bellowed from its funnel and its cab, which seemed to glow bright yellow. Its hissing was pain, and at times it sounded like 3 engines puffing at once.
Is something the matter, Peter Sam? Asked Skarloey. How come you won't go in the shed?
It's the witch decoration!
Peter Sam whimpered.
I'm scared of it.
You're scared of it? Skarloey repeated, confused.
Yes, what if it does something to me?
Peter Sam worried.
Driver said witches can turn people into things. He also told me about a witch that tried baking 2 kids in an oven.
Good Lord.
I know. I don't want to be baked.
Well, that's just a decoration. It won't do anything to us.
But what if...
Oh, for crying out loud, Peter Sam.
Sir Handel snapped.
It's just a stupid decoration, it can't harm us. Plus, you're right in front of it now, so if it was alive and wanted to do something to you, it could have by now.
What if it's waiting till you're all asleep?
Poppycock! Skarloey and I have been here for ages. How come it hasn't done anything to us?
What if it doesn't want you to, and wants me instead?
You sound like a lunatic.
But...
Get in the shed!
Okay.
So, they can change things. That's worrying.
Don't you start too.